Al, we'll keep this video short and sweet, but we're going to talk about line moves. Yesterday, you released a 7-unit play on the Oklahoma City Thunder minus 14 and a half. It went up to 15 in some spots and then shot down to 9. And then my phone exploded. And would you know it, they won the game by 16. Like I said today, I have a radio show in Las Vegas. We talked about your selection that you released. And I said, you can't hedge. People were asking me about hedging again. I'm like, you cannot hedge if you bet minus 15 and the line is now 9. It's just one bet it and forget it and roll. Sometimes it's going to burn you, but a lot of times it's not going to matter. So, we got the last laugh on that game yesterday.
That was. I actually watched the replay, because I didn't see it live, but I did watch the replay, and it was just kind of funny to watch everything that conspired to allow Oklahoma City to win. I mean, Vanderbilt gets a flagrant foul, when he it's a minute and a half to go in the game, and he's just intentionally fouling someone, but he grabs him around the neck, just stuff like that. It was pretty funny. I mean, this is today's NBA. And it goes both ways. I mean, it's all about player injuries and player availability, and sometimes you're surprised, and you wake up and the star player on your team isn't playing, or the star player on the other team is or isn't playing, and that's just the way it goes.
Well, it's interesting because Micah, who runs a professional betting syndicate, he basically said what you said. If you liked it at minus 15, the way they run their shop is they're going to bet more at minus 9. They're not going to be.
Well, I'm not. But to me, it's the same, right? Because it's like in this instance. Well, first of all, it's minus 14 and a half. Actually, I think I released it at 13 and a half, and then it crept up. If LeBron James and Luka Doncic are questionable, i.e. they have a 50% chance of playing and a 50% chance of not playing, the line's 14 points.
Right.
If they both don't play, well, the line's not 14. It's going to be 16, 17, whatever it's going to be. If they do play, then the line goes down to 9. It's the same. Oklahoma City minus 9.5 with Doncic and James is equivalent to Oklahoma City minus 16.5 without Doncic and without James. So it's, to me, it's really the same thing. It's just, you're taking away 2 players. So I don't like a play more or less because of the absence or the availability of a player. I like it pretty much equally the same.
There you go. Well, with that being said, it's funny, like I was telling people, the units, this is where the units shine with the high unit plays. Last week we lost 18, 19 units. This week we're up 9 units after so far you cashed the Orlando Magic this afternoon. I don't care what the line was. They won the game by 20, 96-76. Now, I will say as a caveat, it feels better, but as Duke, may he rest in peace, always used to say to me, you get paid the same whether you win by a half a point or whether they win by 20. It just feels better.
Not to me. I like winning by the half point. Believe me, I felt a lot better with Oklahoma City skating by the skin of my teeth than I did with the Magic. So that's
why is that though? Is it? But he's right though, right? It's the money's the same.
Well, the money's the same, but I mean, when I win by a half point, it's a lot more satisfying because those are the coin flip games.
Right, I got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like give me a lucky win more than a blowout win any day of the week.
There you go. Well, with that being said, guys, reach out to me if you want to pick up the All Access. Like I said in my actual video that I did, we were running late today. I already did my video. Like I said, guys, 14 weeks have passed since last Sunday in this year. It's hard to believe. 10 winning weeks with Big Al, 4 losing weeks, plus 202 units. You're a dime per unit better. You're up 202,000, or the reality is the unit could also be looked at as a percentage return. You're up 202%. Obviously, we'll square up the numbers this week as I do every Monday. But like I said, guys, you can't live in the micro of each individual game. You want to zoom out. His record speaks for itself. His flat betting record is available at pickdogs.com. And with that being said, reach out to me if you want to take advantage of the All Access NBA Full Throttle. He's already released a UFL game, and he's 2-0 this week so far in the NHL. And with that being said, we'll keep it shorter than normal. What is your complimentary selection tomorrow on Thursday?
Yeah, no, and I do want to zoom out because I really don't care about 1 week,
I
1
know you
month, 3 months. So like if you zoom out 5 years, the basketball record, not the football record, which is great also, but just the basketball record is 2,290, 1,828 plus 278.27 net games after the juice. So
after the juice, that's critical.
after the juice,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like the 4.5 to 5 year record. It's we still have a little bit to go of this season, of course. So that's what I'm proud of is the long term, not the day to day stuff that we have to talk about.
There you go. But we're just here trying to educate clients how they can treat their wagering as a business. Somebody said, and again, I know you don't read the comments, but the comment was basically like, it's refreshing to see a guy who wins not bragging, meaning, these guys are accustomed to going on social media and everybody's sitting in front of their Ferrari and they got the gold watch on and they're bragging that they had to lock it. And, people get it when they watch these videos because, basically me and you are personality-wise, I'm a little more amplified and everybody like, man, no matter how much Al wins, he's just cool as a cucumber. I said, that's Al.
Well, I mean, I've done my share of losing over the 46 years, so I don't I mean it's we win more than we lose.
These guys, it's refreshing for these guys to see what I like to say a pro versus a Joe, because like you said, look, you and I both know we're unfortunately in a business where winning is part of the equation, marketing is the other part of the equation. And and I know that there's plenty of guys out there that, if they went 10-0 in their last 10, that's what's getting their clients. And I will say to you, I'm not going to name the site. We can talk about it off air. There was a site that did a split B test. There was a handicapper that was 61% for the year, and he was 1-4 his last 5. And then there was a capper that was 40% for the year, and he was 8-2 in his last 10. And they did a split test, and that day the sales were way higher for the guy that was 8-10, 40% versus the guy that was 60% that was 1-4.
Absolutely. People are attracted to. You could have a guy who is steady Eddie, 55, 56% over the entire year, which is amazing. And then you have the guy, as you just said, who's like, oh my God, he's 19-3 his last 22, but he's 50% over the entire year.
Exactly.
And they're going to go for that 19. Oh my God, this guy's right. Because people don't understand. And you see it with sports announcers too. Oh, this guy is, red hot today, from 3-point line. I mean, there's no such thing as hot or cold. There's a good shooter and a bad shooter.
Right.
I'll put the ball in Steph Curry's hand any day long. I don't care if he's 3 for his last 19 or if he's 19 for his last 22. Exactly. He's the best shooter. So, that's people just don't understand. They think there's a such thing as hot and cold, and it's really just, are you good or are you not good? Anyway, enough of that. For the comp selection, yesterday was a weird day in the NBA. The Oklahoma City Thunder go on a 24-4 run toward the end of that game to get the money for their bettors. Another team that went on a crazy run was the Milwaukee Bucks. Ended the game on a 34-3 run to cover the spread, against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I just want to fade the Bucks off that game. And, I also faded Oklahoma City tonight. We don't know how the result's going to be. We had a big play in the Phoenix Suns. We faded the Oklahoma City Thunder off their big win yesterday against the Lakers. So now, Milwaukee had a night off. They're going to be playing at home versus the New Orleans Pelicans. They're laying 15 points. Come on, man. We're going to take the 15. Milwaukee, they're also terrible off 3 wins or more when they're playing a rested foe. They're 113 and 173 ATS in that situation. But this is just, This is too big of a number for the Bucks. We're going to take the points with the Pelicans.
Nolan's Pelicans plus the 15. Reach out to me, guys. And as always, good day and good luck.